I have someone in the studio that recently got cancelled and lost a YouTube channel with over 1.3 million followers, and we're going to find out what happened to him and what's going next for him. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast and having this video. A lot of people are very interested in what happened to you lately. So Dave, tell me a little bit, how are you feeling now? Just recently, your life's work deleted, 1.3 million followers deleted with your channel and channels. And obviously we're in an undisclosed location now, but a lot of people, millions of people are out there excited to hear from you on what happened. Before we get into that, hold your horses, guys. Let's get to know you a little bit. All right. So I personally know you a bit, that you've been creating videos for the past 8 years, since you were 15 years old, and you had over 2,000 videos created. Now, what was your initial aim to get started?
Yeah, absolutely, man. First of all, thank you for having me on. It feels very weird to be canceled on YouTube after nearly 10 years now that I've been posting content. And I've been it's a mix of feelings as well. But I feel a massive relief as well, because now I can literally go there and do anything. The reason I started that channel was I was a 13-year-old kid who just wanted to help his mom pay the bills. And I was like trying different side hustles at home. And I was like, I want to record the journey, because I had a feeling like I'm going to make it one day, and I'm going to look back at these videos and I'm going to have a catalog of like hundreds of videos of me growing up doing that. And eventually I ended up making millions of dollars online. I ended up doing all of these amazing things, and people were following that journey. So that YouTube channel that I started with over 1 million subscribers, that had over 700 million long form views, was essentially me sharing the journey of like being this broke kid, teenager, and sharing what I was doing, like all the different side hustles I was trying and failing, and all the money that I was losing, and like all the lessons that I was learning. And then the problem where I think came, and how people can save their channels and how they can avoid getting banned from YouTube. So first of all, I needed more content. So I was like, okay, what if I now take other people's stories to inspire more? So I would go to like Fiverr, find a freelancer, like some kid from India where you can see he has $500,000 in sales. Yeah. And I was like, do research, see exactly what he's done. And my goal was like, let me show you that if this kid can do it, you can do it too. So I was like making these tutorials of how they're doing the things to make money online and sharing that. And eventually the channel grew. We were the fastest and the only channel to pass 1 million subscribers sharing online business stuff. And so why I got banned, why I got deleted, I don't exactly know. So I just got a letter from YouTube that I got banned. But I would imagine that if you get 700 million long form views teaching people how to make money online, and thousands of people are messaging me every week that they're getting help and results and making money from free videos, I would imagine that companies, governments wouldn't really like that. I don't want to start any conspiracy theories, but
You have started.
I don't know. That's just my thought, because I haven't gotten any explanation. I feel relieved. I love the fact that I no longer have to do that. I feel bad because I get thousands of messages from people who are like, wait, I was getting so much value. Like, where are your videos? I want to learn more. And unfortunately, yeah, I'm now banned off of YouTube. I'm not allowed to do that. YouTube feels like these people don't really deserve that kind of content, which is weird because there are other channels that are way smaller that are doing the exact same thing, copying what I was doing. But that's the thing. Like, if no one watches, you can say whatever you want. But as soon as more people are listening, freedom of speech doesn't exist. You're not allowed.
Absolutely. Imagine walking on the treadmill and getting an email from YouTube that your channel that you've been building for almost 10 years has been banned. That's exactly what happened to Dave, and I was right next to you when this happened. But let's take a few steps back. Like, you were 13 when you started doing YouTube. How long did it take for you to feel like you're a creator and to feel like you're an authority in the space?
Oh, it took a very long time. I was very shy as well, and I couldn't even speak English. So I was really, really struggling on camera. And that's why I hate that I don't have more of those videos so people can see, because a lot of people have this friction. They're like, yeah, I understand that creating content is essential in today's world. Like, you have to be out there. Like, if you compare, I already saw this, but like, if you compare, no one likes Jeff Bezos because Jeff Bezos is not a really public person. People used to love Elon Musk. I don't know about today, but people used to love Elon Musk because he was constantly on camera. So having a personal brand, obviously, is extremely important, whatever kind of business you have. And I understood that 10 years ago. And that's why I pushed so hard, even though I had literally 2 friends. I was so shy, and I pushed myself to be on camera. And I would imagine, like, if you have more than 2 friends, come on, you're not that much of an introvert. You can be in front of the camera, especially because you can literally make millions of dollars if you have a good offer and you are comfortable in being in front of the camera. It's ridiculous.
I love that you brought in the offers and personal brand right in the beginning, because we help our clients create entire high ticket offers, whether it's education or service based businesses, and then we build their ecosystem around it, whether it's the content ecosystem, the product ecosystem, and like the systems behind it, so they can grow their brands. When was it when you started monetizing? First of all, your YouTube channel, and when did you realize that there is so much more money to be made in the business?
Yeah, so very interesting is that back then, like no one was, before 2020, before COVID, no one was really teaching how to actually do that. So I was just literally me doing those things and seeing the comments of people saying like, okay, but can you go deeper? And like, how did you run that side hustle? How did you do that? Because I'm making these 10-minute videos on YouTube, but people want like the step-by-step stuff. And so I was like, okay, what if I actually make a mini course? And I remember that day when I first made the product, which was $99. And I was like, no chance in hell is anyone gonna buy this. I put that 2 hours later, I'm getting 2 sales. I'm freaking out. I'm like 15-year-old kid who just made $200 in a country where average salary is $300 a month. I made this in 5 minutes after launching, but it was still ridiculous. So now I understand that the very first thing you need to do is you have to, and you're obviously an expert in this, you probably correct me if I'm wrong, but choosing one niche, choosing one avatar, choosing one problem, posting as much content as you possibly can, creating really high quality content there, and you're going to learn what that audience wants. Most of them are even going to tell you in the comments what they want, and then you make what they want, not what you want. Because a lot of people are like, yo, I want to start a school community. I want to sell coaching. Yeah, but does your audience want that? Like, do they want that? What kind of problem are they looking to solve?
Yeah, we work with a lot of businesses and experts. And one of my mantra that I always say is that start with high ticket first, right? Like the reason we say that, and we develop their entire program in the beginning, for them to trust themselves and understand the tremendous value that they're providing to their audience. And then we build out the rest of the ecosystem for them and actually launch the business. Now, we talked about and I want to emphasize the value and result and transformation that the programs we're creating do for hundreds and thousands and the tens of thousands of people. We talked about dropshipping, crypto off camera a little bit, and we both agree that there are a lot of scam influencers out there and scam creators, faceless YouTubers, and all that stuff selling something they're not putting their face in front of. How do you feel about that?
That's the reason I moved out of Dubai. Everyone is painting Dubai as this entrepreneur's paradise. And when you go there, you actually realize there's like most of these guys are just crypto scammers hiding behind anonymous profile pictures and like literally full of scammers.
PFPs.
And you're just there trying to keep up with the Joneses, spending thousands of dollars on stupid stuff. That's why I moved out of Dubai. I hate, like that's how much I hate the drop shipping, the crypto scammers, all of that. And even I'm getting in a taxi in Dubai, and the driver, who's obviously, I would assume they're broke, the driver, and he's asking me like, hey, I'm trying to make some money. I heard that you can make money with crypto. And like, I just realized like these guys that are flexing in Dubai with Lambos, that are flexing in Thailand, in Dubai, in Bali, all of these guys, they're scamming like a regular taxi driver who's just trying to pay the bills for his kids. So I really hate, it's cringe. Like if you're teaching crypto drop, it's literally cringe. And if anyone is looking into those things, just literally put it on a paper. If you want to start drop shipping, you need thousands of dollars in inventory, thousands of dollars in ads. You're competing with millions of people. It's literally one of the hardest business models, but they paint it as something like that you can just flip a finger and just it's gonna work.
I started out my digital marketing and online marketing with building an e-commerce store back in my country. We currently have 30,000 SKUs in the warehouse. The warehouse is 1,500 square meter with a lot of employees and systems in place that we've implemented with my brother. And when I see these guys saying that, oh, you just put out a TikTok video and then your TikTok shop kind of blows up, it just gives me chills, and I really do not like it. And that's why I'm a big advocate of creating content, because when you're putting your personal brand and your face in front of your product, that means that I can trust you, right? And you've been doing that for 8 to 10 years. Tell me a bit more about the community. Like, you're a big community builder. You have more than 80,000 people in your school group, and you have thousands of people messaging you. What happened to Dave Nick, right? What would be a few guidelines or rules when it comes to building a great and supportive community?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, when it comes to, if we are talking school, one of the best strategies that I personally use was you try to teach yourself from like 3 years ago and you start with that. Otherwise, you're never going to continue doing it because it's really hard to build a business, to build a community, to make money. And if you build something you don't care about, because people go and see like top school communities, for example, they make $100,000 a month teaching crypto or scamming people with crypto. So people fall for it. That's why they make so much money from school. And they're like, yeah, I'm also going to teach crypto because obviously if you scam people, you can make a lot of money. And so they try and do it and they feel miserable. And even if they build a community, they're really going to be depressed. I know a lot of guys who are depressed doing those things. So if you want to build a good community, I would just start with yourself. Think about like, what is it that I'm interested in? What is the problem that I solved maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago that I can teach and that I can do on a regular basis? The reason most people fail is because they can't do one thing consistently, and they can't do it because they don't really care about that thing. So I would really, really start a community you care about. I like when I have my community, every single member that joins, I'm like, yeah, here's another brother, here's another friend, here's another sister. I love it. I love people that are inside. And I think that if you start with that, money is just going to follow. I didn't start it to make lots of money, but now we have 84,000 people and it's making lots of money. So I think, loving it is one of the most important aspects of it.
Beautiful. And, I truly believe that with AI being in our life now, information is completely commoditized. Everything is available online, right? So what really is left? The connection, the community, and the trust to a face and a brand or a personal brand. And currently you have thousands of people, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of people actively searching for your name online because you got canceled essentially. What are your plans to reintroduce yourself? What's next?
Yeah, first of all, I do feel bad for these people that unfortunately can no longer get free value, but I'm retired. At this point, I'm genuinely feeling like I'm just enjoying the fruits of my labor. And for the next few months, I'm just going to do exactly that. I will probably show up in some videos here and there, but I'm not really going to go hard. I want to help a lot of people in different countries, want to go around, travel, maybe do a few vlogs of that, but I'm not going back to creating that type of content. And also teaching people to make money online is a very hard thing to do, especially because I don't believe that anyone can make money online. So I used to believe that you can take a random person and they're going to make money online. But unfortunately, most of those people lack one of the things that you need to make money online. And for me, yeah, absolutely. For me, what I realized that in order to make money online, and when I look into successful entrepreneurs, you probably know this as well, all of them had this one thing, and that was they had a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering that pushed them to go and make money online and not quit. And a lot of people are comfortable. Like when I started out, I was I had to make money. I had both my parents unemployed. I was worried they might unalive themselves. They might not be able to pay for food for me. So I had to do it whether I like it or not. So I was pushed against the wall. And a lot of people don't have that luxury. They're not that lucky to be super, super broke to go and have to build such a big business. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm comfortable. I have a house, I have food. I'm not going to starve for the next 2 weeks. So they are unlucky because they're not going to be pushed to that limit to go and do something big. And so if you lack that, I think the other way to get motivation is just to a lot of people have dopamines that are fried. Like those, if you look at a normal person, for the lack of better words, if you look at what they're doing, it's like they're scrolling their phone, they're on Netflix, they're eating junk food, they're drinking alcohol, their dopamine is fried. So when you want to sit down and build a business for more than an hour, you can't even focus. You're like twitching around, you're checking your phone, you're making a sandwich, you're talking to someone, so you can't do it. So if you lack that thing, that lucky thing that these successful people have, which is a lot of trauma, then the other thing you have to do is lower down your dopamine by fixing the habits and fixing your productivity, etc. That's why I think it's impossible to teach someone strategies to make money online, because it's not about the strategies. They can learn those things for free online. It's about literally changing their perspective and changing their human being.
So essentially what you're saying is that people, in your opinion, lack the proper mindset and the execution or focus to build businesses online. Even though that we're living in an age where building an online business is probably easier than ever because a lot more people are online. Everybody has a smartphone right now. But with that luxury of having smartphone and access to everything, we basically have so much information, and our dopamine levels to satisfy our dopamine levels is so hard because we're constantly hit with those dopamine hits that you think less and less people are actually capable of building a business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the hardest thing about building a business on the internet is not getting distracted by the internet. And there's so many things that you can get on. But I really think that I admire people who work a job. It's way harder than building a business. I would not be able to like sit around for 8 hours every single day, someone telling me what to do. I see these guys that are running online businesses, like you genuinely just need 2 to 4 hours of focused work every single day, but like not just randomly working on a laptop, focusing on one single thing for more than 3 months. If you can do that, like who's going to compete with you? But a lot of people cannot do that. So I think you have to change the way you think.
The hardest thing to build a business online is being online. I love that quote. I'm going to quote that going forward. And also in your personal life, it's very hard to reach you, right? Because you are doing what you're preaching and you're not actually on Instagram. You're not actually on social media. Well, unfortunately now on YouTube, but also not using it to consume. Did you ever have a period in your life when you were actually a consumer of social media and you felt that you were more anxious, anxiety was a lot more around, you were less productive and less focused?
I think that anyone who says online that they haven't gone through that, they're lying. Even Jeff Bezos, when he was on Lex Fridman podcast, he literally says that he scrolls his phone. So I had that massive period, probably a year, and that's the most I was making millions. That was last year. I was 22 years old. I was making millions of dollars, so I had a lot of time, and I was like, yeah, let me scroll. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. I'll just scroll. I felt so anxious, so literally depressed from scrolling my phone. And I couldn't stop. I was like, I know how bad it is, but I still go on and still do it. And I tried 1,000 different tactics. What eventually worked out for me, I tried even like putting my phone outside of the room and sleeping without a phone and all of these things. What actually worked for me, the best tip, was just trying to fill my days with activities that don't allow me to be on my phone. Go surf, go out with friends, go work out with friends, go to the beach, speak to a friend, do anything that's just going to distract you from being on a phone. After 21 days, you build a habit and you're no longer on. But it's a massive issue for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Both of us and many of us that are living this online dream, I would say that we actually went ahead, created personal brands and businesses online and help others do so, go through a lot of mindset work, right? And you're super young. You're 23 years old, man, right? Like life is right ahead of us. Yet you must have gone through a lot of mindset work, and life keeps challenging you because losing your life's work at such a young age can feel very, very daunting and must put a lot of pressure on you. Can you walk me through what was the mindset shift you had to initially go through becoming a famous YouTuber? And then what is the mindset shift that you have to go through right now and how the cancellation impacted you? So let's start with what was the mindset shift or the identity shift you went through from 13 to 22, 23?
One of the biggest lessons that I've learned, and this took me probably 5 years to learn, and that is that you genuinely have to fall in love with problems and with constant issues falling in your place. Because when I was starting out, like you constantly get something, PayPal gets deleted, all the things you don't even think about when starting a business, everything goes down and you have to constantly, and you fix it, and there's another thing that comes over. And now when I got banned, I didn't flinch. I just looked at my phone. I was like, yeah, okay, we go. Like, I know there are so many problems and it's never going to stop. So unless you want to be constantly solving problems, and the dream life is not going to work. So it's not just a dream life. There's a lot of problems behind it, and you have to love them. You have to literally love all of the chaos that is going on around that. That's one of the biggest mindset shifts. But the other is also understanding that when you look at beginners, when they want to make money online, most of beginners they're either in school. There's a lot of teenage guys that are probably watching this as well, but there's also older people who have jobs that are just starting out, and they're like, yeah, I hear these guys making money online and I want to make money online, but I have a job, and I'm going to dedicate my morning hours when I'm like sharpest, and I'm going to go and work for someone else. So the principle that I have is like, if you want to build something big, you have to actually work like when you're the best or you're sharpest. In my opinion, it's for most people, it's in the morning. If you give those hours to your boss or to someone else, you're building in someone else's company, when you go back home, you're not really going to do much on your online business. You're not really going to be sharp to do it. So unfortunately, it's not really going to work. So one of the principles is, picking one of the parts of the day when you feel the best to actually work, and just dedicate 2 hours a day focused on that one single thing. And the biggest one is just to understand that there's a lot of problems that you got to fix, and you have to love them.
Very valuable. Thank you so much. When we think of problems, one of the main problems that our audience might have is lack of money or lack of a growing big successful business. They might be making $5,000-$10,000, but you don't know how to get from $5,000 to 10 to 20 to 30 to a million, right? And I get these messages daily, like, hey, Roland, help me. stop being broke, pretty
Mhm.
much, right? And obviously our main answer is go to the internet and look for a skill, get very good at a skill, then start a personal brand, then package it up into a program, have people with services as a freelancer, then turn into an agency, then build systems and scale. What are the skill sets, in your opinion, that you would start learning if you had to go back?
That's a really good question. And first of all, I love the fact that now I also have to start from scratch, because that's the best part. Literally, if you ask any successful entrepreneur, starting out, like those first few struggles and like the first few months are absolutely the best. So I have that luxury of starting from scratch again, and I love it. So whoever is messaging you right now, whoever is watching this right now and is starting and is broke, I love it that you are gonna have the most fun right now. When you make it, when you're already like in Dubai and you're driving a Lambo, you get used to it after a week. Trust me, you're gonna love this. And I waited for this moment for so damn long so that I have open field and I can start something. In terms of skill set, if I could start again from scratch, the number one skill that I would want to learn is personal branding and content creation. How do you actually get attention in this world where there's millions of people distracted on their phones? People think it's saturated. Just look around you. You'll see do you watch just one creator, or you watch like multiple creators? Like, it's so insane. It's insanely easy to do it right now. We're literally only at the beginning, and over the next 10 years, it might get saturated in 10 to 15 years, but right now it's stupidly easy to go and do it. So building a personal brand and just building a damn product around that, that's all you freaking need to make as much money as you want. There are guys with like 3,000 subscribers on YouTube making $100,000 a month. You don't need to be Mr. Beast. Just need one niche, one audience, one problem that you're solving, and that's it. It's literally simple. You don't have to complicate it with Facebook ads, dropshipping, e-commerce, crypto scams, all of these things. Literally just do this one thing for months and you'll thank me. You'll thank Roland, you'll thank us.
Absolutely. If you have that one skill and you've already started and making some money and want to build it into a more successful personal brand with systems, high ticket offers, education offers, or services, then feel free to check the link in the description, because you might find some very valuable things behind the link. Going forward, I know you're going to be traveling. You're an undisclosed island, working out, having fun, and actually rebuilding, right? You have amazing people around you. Being in the industry, we also understand that not every people is amazing around you. How do you save yourself from toxicity?
That's a very big problem in this industry, especially I live in Dubai, so I'm based in Dubai, and in Dubai, which I genuinely hate, and I want to leave it as fast as possible. I want to move out of there. That's why I'm going to spend a lot of time on this island. But in Dubai, if you go there, there's a lot of young guys who are looking at the ones that are at the top. And I was on a dinner with like 10 different guys sitting there, and 3 of them had the same tattoo on their arm as one of the most popular guys in this industry, which a lot of people watching this probably already know who that person is, but it's literally a cult. And I feel bad for these are kids. Like, we're all 20, 25, 30 years old. We're literally kids, and we're like doing all these things that we think is cool. And one of the most toxic traits that I would see, that when I see, I don't want to be friends with that person, is do they have an Instagram where they have multiple exotic cars rented? That's like, for me, when I see that, I try to run away from that from that account, and I think it's a scam. If they have multiple exotic cars running around there and running around these places, I would assume that they are probably trying to scam, and I try to stay away from that. And the other thing as well, anyone that lives in Dubai, I would consider trying not to be friends with in this industry. They're most likely doing something a bit off.
I don't want you to be contradictory, but you have multiple exotic cars on your Instagram and live in Dubai. So how do you distinguish people from people?
Yeah. So when you go to my Instagram, if you look at those videos, I literally do a parody of that. And if you go to my Instagram bio, I don't sell anything on my Instagram. I'm not trying to push anyone anywhere. You go to my Instagram, it's just me making fun of these guys who post a picture of a luxury car that they rented, and they go, DM me this word and I will send you this, bro. And if people still fall for that, I genuinely feel bad. So yeah,
very interesting. Very interesting that if you study psychology and how influence and human behavior works, one of the major way to build trust is an authority is either, well, we call them testimonials and feedbacks.
Look, I mean, I do have a lot of respect for people that sit down and teach something. Like, you teach me. And you can post on Instagram as much as you want, but if you don't provide any value, and only way you attract audience is by posting a rented luxury car, and you tell people to DM you to buy a course, I think you're just not helping the society at all.
And you're also painting a picture that is not true.
It's not true.
Like, I know a lot of people that have these type of Instagram accounts and come to me for help because they're
Hmm.
faking their lifestyles, and when they meet someone that's actually genuine, they have to kind of take that mask
Hmm.
off,
Hmm.
and they have to, well, be vulnerable, which is very hard for them, but they're struggling, man. Inside they're struggling because they're perceived, they know that their audience perceives them as someone super successful, and then they're back home like rocking in the
Hmm.
chair because they're depressed or not making any money, right? Don't be that guy, please. Don't be that guy.
It's funny, like I was in Dubai and I was in the building and I was in the elevator and some guy's looking at me in the elevator and I look at him and he's like, yo, I know you, you're Dave Nick from YouTube. And I was like, yeah, what are you doing? And we started speaking. He's like, bro, to be honest, like I just saved up my last $1,000. He's from the UK. He came to Dubai to take photos to sell a trading course. He literally, I still have that guy's contacts, and I see him like he's genuinely struggling for money, but on Instagram he's got an exotic car, he's selling a trading course, he is barely affording McDonald's, he's struggling.
All
Sad.
right. So I believe that this is because of social media, right? Like, young men and young women as well have a lot of body image problems, and men have a lot of wallet image problems, right? Because they see all these young kids like yourself or myself traveling a lot, living the good life, not seeing what it takes to actually do this. What would you recommend people that genuinely want to start out building online businesses, online offers, personal brands, to encourage them that it's okay not to flex with rented Lambos? It's okay to have a one wife and many kids and not, spin girls and buy bottles and pump champagnes in random clubs and then create content around it. What would you tell them to make them believe that it's worth it to just do it the hard way? Like, it's okay if it takes time. It's okay if you struggle. It's okay if it's gonna take you 7 or 8 years to build 1 million followers and then get canceled and have to restart. It's hard, but like the first sentence we learn in the business when you're going to a university is the higher the risk, higher the reward, right? And we're taking a lot of risks. What would you say they have to do to not fall into this trap of showing more than who they are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of risk, and there are like you are gonna have to go through a lot of BS to get there. And even now, I personally feel very much behind. But if you go to my Instagram, it feels perfect. You have like these exotic cars, you have exotic locations. But I genuinely 90% of my day is me behind a laptop. Sometimes anxious, sometimes depressed. For most time, I have no idea if I'm doing the right things. Why am I wasting time? So you never lose that feeling. That feeling is always gonna stay with you. Most of these people are broken. Most of the millionaires on Instagram are broken people. I met them. I know most of them are miserable. But the other thing is also just asking yourself, what is that you actually want? I have a friend who is making millions of dollars a year online, and he is telling me, I want to work so hard so that I can get to $1 million a month, so that I can buy more, like buy as many Rolexes and buy as many cars. And I was like, is that what you really want, or is that the picture that was painted? Like, I personally, the reason I want to leave Dubai is because people are just acting rich there, but I see myself as a family man. I would want to build a family. I want to build real businesses, make real money, and take care of people around me, build businesses that help people, build communities, etc. Have an amazing life. I don't want to be around people that are faking, like they feel miserable. All of these guys in exotic cars.
Not only they feel miserable, but they make you feel miserable, and that's the worst of it. Like the actual message that they portray is not necessarily, well, first of all, it's a circle jerk.
Mhm.
It's like literally like they're, when you go to one of these dinners with these type of people, the energy is always off.
Off.
It's like just they're there to show off.
Yep.
But still, when I come across some people that seemingly doing better than me, I fall into the trap
Hmm.
of feeling horrible. Like, what am I doing wrong? So I ask, like, is this even worth watching, following, right? But we know that the lifestyle content sells for people that are young and they haven't seen what it really takes and haven't
Hmm.
experienced what it really takes to build an online business, especially now when it's more competitive than ever. And I also realized, also going through a lot of therapy and working on my personal growth in general, that when I meet up with these people and you remain yourself and you're not trying to just show off and get onto their level, whatever
Hmm.
that level is, you just stay authentic to yourself, and that actually builds your character a lot more than trying to, show off whatever.
100%, 100%. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't want to spend any time on Instagram, because there's always going to be a guy with more money, with more muscles, and it's going to seem like he has a better life. And anytime I go there, I feel miserable. I know millions of kids feel miserable watching that. And that's why I also feel bad posting content that is like just pure like flexing. Hey, look at me, what I'm doing. That's why if I make content, I will try to make content that's educational, that's valuable, that's boring. But if you can sit down and listen to this podcast for more than 30 minutes, you're ahead of 99% of people. Look at everyone around you. They can't even scroll a TikTok they watch it for 5 seconds and they leave. You're listening to this for 30 minutes.
As someone that understands your audience, understands content creation, business, online business, what do you think, and you can consider yourself a leader in that space with having had more than 1 million followers. What do you think are the right steps for you to take in order to influence your generation and the generation following to become less depressed, more happy, more aligned, and more content with their lives?
Wow, that's a really good question, and that's something I think about a lot. And because it's coming again, we're going back to the thing that with personal brands, you have to solve a problem that you had in the past. That way you're going to love solving the problem, you're going to enjoy. I had a problem of being miserable watching people on Instagram and scrolling on my phone. So one of the biggest things for me is now just trying to spend more time outside and encouraging people to go and spend time outside. I think you're going to imagine the power you're going to have if you're not scrolling your phone. Imagine how more powerful you're going to be compared to 99% of people that they can't even leave their phone, and you're outside and you're enjoying the sun, enjoying the friends, enjoying like literally feeling things, not speed running youth, scrolling like your Instagram reels. You don't even know where 4 hours passed. Boom. And that compounds and it feels miserable. So number one thing, if you can spend 1 hour a day outside, ideally nature, if that allows you, if your location allows you, please do that. It's going to go so far. And those are like the business things that are going to make you the most money, not the strategies, like literally those little things, going outside, having good habits, going to bed on time, not scrolling your phone. Those are the things that are actually going to make you more money than watching a tutorial on how to sign up to an affiliate marketing platform.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for updating everyone on what's been going up with you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Now you understand what happened to Dave and what he's up to. A very valuable conversation we had with this young gentleman. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. Make sure that go ahead and share this video with your friends so they are not afraid of what's going on with Dave. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be bringing you a lot more value when it comes to building your business online.